We're live. All right. So, hey guys, we're going to demonstrate how to do the self-assessments for our Slow and Steady Wellness Challenge. I'll link the PDF in the description of this video, but it's also linked online, and it'll also be linked in the live Q&A on Tuesday at noon. This video will probably be posted after that live Q&A. I may go ahead and post it before, but we are filming it on Monday. Anyways, this is my daughter, Emily, and she's going to be demonstrating the movements. We're not going to go through the whole thing, but we are going to talk about it. So for instance, the first test we're going to show is the push-up test, and it's a 1-minute max rep test. We're not going to go through the whole 1 minute and make her do max reps. And you don't have to do all of the assessments yourself. So you can choose, like for instance, the push-up test is an upper body strength test. The plank test and the core strength and stability test are both core tests. There's a squat and a wall sit, which would also kind of give you both lower extremity strength assessments. And then there's 4 different ways to do a VO2 max, which is your endurance testing. And you don't have to do all of them. You can do whichever one you want, and we'll talk about those a little bit later as well as to which one might be more beneficial for you to do. So you can do all of these tests. If you want to, you can do none of the tests. You could just measure your weight, track your nutrition. This is your challenge. You can do whatever you want, but I wanted to give you a lot of different ways to measure your fitness so that you can track what you want to track. So the very first test we're going to do is the push-up test for 1 minute max. So Emily's going to demonstrate the proper way to do a push-up. Let me adjust my camera. Okay. So this is toes and hands. So this is the regular push-up. Her shoulders are going to be right directly over her hands, and her butt is going to be down. So it's perfect. Good, Dan. It's not going to be high. And she's on her toes here. So she's going to keep her elbows tight, and she's going to go down, not all the way to the ground. There you go. And back up. So that's 1 rep. Okay. So the way that you're going to do this first test is you're going to do a 1 minute max reps. So basically you're going to set a timer for a minute. So you need a timer, and your body is all you need for this test. We have a mat because it doesn't slip, but whatever you want to use. You're going to set a timer for 1 minute, and you're going to see the maximum number of push-ups that you can do in 1 minute. What if you can't do them on your hands and toes, right? You can do knees and hands. Okay, so that looks like this, down and back up him. There you go. Again, keeping your elbows tight. We're not doing this, okay? Good. All right. What if you can't do it there? We can do it on a chair or even at the counter or the wall, but we're going to show you how to do it on a chair. It's the same principle. You're going to keep your shoulders over your hands. So you want to step forward a little, and then you're going to go down as far as you can and back up. Now, we have our chair against the couch here, but you want to make sure your chair is against a wall or something sturdy that it's not going to shoot out from under you, okay? You can also do it on a step. We're not going to demonstrate that if it's too easy to do the chair, but it's too hard to do the floor, okay? So that's our one minute max push-up. You're going to see how many push-ups you can do in whatever position, and just note whatever position you have to do it in if you can't do it in a regular push-up position, okay? So how many the maximum number of push-ups that you can do in 1 minute, okay, is that test. All right, now for plank time. So again, similar to the push-ups, the planks can be modified depending on your strength level. So a regular plank, the way that the maximum difficulty is going to be toes and elbows, okay? The bottom's going to be down like she is there. You don't want to sag too far, show sagging too far. You don't want to go too far down and then show too far up, okay? You don't want to be in a V there, so you want, kind of be in that straight line. So you may want to do this with your camera going so that you can kind of see how you look. Just put your phone there or do it in front of a mirror, okay? So again, this is going to be max hold time. So you're going to set your timer, and you're going to see how long you can stay in that position, okay? So again, the hard position, show hard position, toes and elbows, okay? And now knees and elbows would be the second hardest, okay? Again, you want to keep your booty down, okay? And you want to keep there you go. You want to keep your elbows right over, your shoulders right over your elbows, okay? All right, so that would be second hard position. Then we're going to do like a push-up position. So this is actually easier in a plank, okay? And then we're going to do on a chair. But again, if you cannot do it on a chair, you can do it on on the wall or on a counter, but just wherever is your max effort. You could do the push-up, the plank on a step as well if you wanted to, if the ground was too hard but the chair was too easy. All right, so that's plank max time. And again, how long can you hold it? What's the longest you can hold it with good form? And then you just stop your timer and you record that max time, okay? The core strength and stability test, let's go over that real quick, Em. We tried this, and it's Emily works out, and she has a really good core. And she's tried this, and it was a little too difficult for her. So we're going to demonstrate some of it, but you can choose if you want to do this or not. Some of you may be able to do it. All right. So basically, you hold the plank position.
Is it on your elbows?
Elbows and toes for 60 seconds. So that's 1 minute. Okay. So if you've done the max plank test and you can hold it for 60 seconds, no problem in this position, then move on to this test. Okay. After the 60 seconds, you lift one arm and hold it for 15 seconds. Put that arm back down. After 15 seconds, you lift the other arm for 15 seconds and you hold it. You try not to rotate. So you see rotating. All right. Bring it back down after 15 seconds. And then you would lift one leg and hold for 15 seconds.
Is
that easier? Yeah. Okay. And then you would lift the other leg and hold for 15 seconds. She's not holding for 15 seconds, but we're just demonstrating. Okay. And then you would lift opposite arm, opposite leg, and hold for 15 seconds. Okay. And then you would go with the other opposite arm, opposite leg, and hold for 15 seconds. And they say that if you can do this successfully with good form, that you have good core strength. So I've never used this before, but I did find it, and I thought that might be an interesting challenge. What I might suggest, though, is that you do a tabletop position here. Okay. So show like a tabletop. So knees and hands. Okay. Because this would be a good workout. And I've done this with my patients who have back pain before. Right. So you try to keep your back straight, and you would lift one arm out to the side. Yeah. Up to the side. 15. Yeah. However, 15 seconds. You could do arms and legs. So you could do that, or you could do a push-up plank position. So go back to the push-up plank position. You could try that. Hold for 60 seconds. Okay. We can modify it. Yeah. And then arm and leg. Yeah. And then, and then do it in that push-up plank position instead of the elbows and toes plank position. So you can modify it however you want to. If you modify it, you would probably want to denote that on there somewhere of what position, so that you had it in. Draw a little stick figure if you don't know how to denote it, or just ask me, and I'll help you to do that. Okay. This is for you to document so that you can use this however you want to. And if you need some suggestions on how to, we can address it during the live Q&As. Okay. All right. So now let's move on to our lower extremity. So our lower body strength testing. The first one we're going to do is a squat. Now you need a target. So you want to try to get into a 90-90 position. Okay. So find a chair. Go ahead, sit down here. That gets your hips do not need to go below your knees. Okay. So as close to a 90-90 position as you can. This is the closest we can get with Emily. And you want to have your feet shoulder width apart. And you're going to basically start in a standing position. This is a 1 minute max rep. So you're going to start a timer, and you're going to start a timer for 1 minute, and you're going to count your maximum reps. Okay. Yeah. So you're going to aim for the chair. You're not going to sit fully down. Okay. You're going to aim for the chair so that your booty just basically touches it and coming back up. So you're going to do 1 minute of these for max reps. So you want to go quick to see how many you can do, and you're going to count them for 1 minute. Okay. And you're going to record that there. If it's too hard to go down to 90, you can't even do a squat there. If you're one of those people that sometimes has a difficulty getting up from a chair, start with a higher stool, or start on the side of your bed if your bed's higher, and start there. If it hurts your knees to do squats here, the same thing. Say you can get up from a chair, but if you do more than one or two of those, your knees start to hurt. First of all, check the position of your knees and make sure that you don't have your feet turned in or out, and that your knees aren't turning in and kind of coming towards each other. You could put a ball between your knees to kind of keep that spacing if you need to, or a pillow, like a bigger pillow. But we can address those later. But if it's too hard to do something this low, go to a higher bar stool, or the side of your bed if it's higher. Or try this next one, which is a wall sit. So the next one is wall sit, and you're doing it for max time. Okay. So this is a max time test. So what you're going to do is you're going to get into the wall sit position, which is again in a 90-90. So your hips should be at a 90-degree angle, so like a tabletop position, and then your knees should be in a 90-degree position as well. And again, you can put your phone beside you so that you know what you look like if you don't have a mirror to look in.
You can't really tell from that angle.
Yeah. So again, you're going to, just show them like you're sitting. Yeah. So again, it's in that 90-90. So hips are at 90 and knees are at 90 degree. Okay. You don't have to put a goniometer or a measuring stick on there to tell, but you can eyeball it. Okay. The bottom line is you don't want your hips to go lower than your knees for this test. Okay. So go back to the wall, Em. So we're going to start in that position, and you're going to say, all right, on your mark, get set, go, start the timer, and see how long you can stay there. Bring your feet in a little bit, Em. You want your feet to be shoulder width apart. You don't want them to be too far out, okay? All right, so what if you can't get into this position, or if it hurts your knees already, come up a little, Em. So just go where you can. So, you want some bend in your knees so that the weight's transferring into your quadricep muscles, which are those front muscles in your legs. But
you just don't want to go.
But you don't want to go down too far, okay? You can work on that later with a personal trainer if you want to do that. we're protecting your knees, okay? All right, so that is the wall sit test. All right, now we're going to talk about the 3-minute step test. There's a couple of different versions. Emily, go ahead and bring the step in, babe. There's a couple of different versions of the step test. The step test, there's a Tecumseh step test that uses an 8-inch step, which is the modification that we're going to use because that's what we have. And like I have this step stool here too, which is like a little 8-inch step as well. The standard step height is usually an 8-inch step in your house. So if you have stairs in your house, they're probably going to be 8-inch steps. But you can measure them with like a ruler, or if you have a tape measure, you can measure and make sure. The difference is in the calculating of the results, right? If you're stepping on a higher step, which is a 12-inch step, it's going to get your heart rate up a lot faster, and it's going to be a little bit harder. So if you're stepping on an 8-inch step, it's going to be a little bit easier. So that's why we have to modify the way that we interpret the results, okay? So today we're using the 8-inch step. Basically what you're going to do, and I have videos that have the little, the step up, step down, whatever, or step, down, or whatever. I have those linked in to, if you go to the third page, you can't see this here, but there are some links in it. So when you pull up the PDF on your computer, you can click on those links. One of them has the metronome, and it's like a bump, 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 bump. So you're basically step, step. So you're like up, up, down, up, up, down. Okay. The second video actually says up, up, down, up, up, down. And there are 3-minute long videos that can walk you through it. If you don't want to do that, if you don't want to use those videos, all you need is a metronome. You can download the app on your phone, and you're going to be stepping up and down to a 24 beat per minute stepping time. Okay. Let me know if you can't do that. There's other tests that we're going to do, go over if you can't do the stepping up and down. But there may be some other ones out there, but the reason that we're doing this test is to test VO2 max. Your VO2 max is your ability of your lungs to move air and for you to do work, okay? And the VO2 max will tell you your aerobic capacity, endurance capacity, and how well your lungs and your heart are functioning, okay? So the first test we're going to do for VO2 max is a 3-minute step test. So basically, Emily's going to, and I'm going to just coach her. I'm going to set a timer for 3 minutes. We're not going to do the whole thing, but I'm just going to show you what to do. We're going to set a timer for 3 minutes, and then I'm going to say, all right, hold on. Let me set my timer for 3 minutes. Okay, 3-minute timer. And then I'm going to tell her to go. And then I'm going to go up, up, down, up, up, down on that 24 beat per minute cycle that I have this metronome going. Okay, ready? On your mark, get set, go. Up, up, down, 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 up, up, down. All right, go ahead and stop him. Let's say it's been 3 minutes. Then she's going to sit down immediately. Sit down in a chair. Say you want a chair. And then after 5 minutes, so I'm going to look at my watch again, set a 5-minute timer, or just, so I'm going to set a 5-minute timer. And after 5 minutes of recovery time, she's going to check her heart rate. Okay. You can check your heart rate on your watch, on your Apple Watch if you have a watch. or you can check it with your carotid artery. Okay. If your heart rate is up, it's going to be a lot easier to feel that carotid artery. So you should be able to feel the boom, boom, boom right there. You don't want to push too hard. You'll occlude it, but you're going to, after 5 minutes, you're going to take your heart rate. It's going to be your recovery heart rate. It's how much your heart rate has come down in that 5-minute time. So you're going to take it for 15 seconds. Okay. You're going to count for 15 seconds how many beats you feel of your heart, and then you're going to multiply that by 4. Okay. The reason we're taking it quickly is, and you could take it for a minute, but if you take that 15 seconds, it's going to give you a little bit better of a snapshot. Or if you have a watch, you can turn a watch that monitors your heart rate. Make sure it's tight. Okay. But you can look at your heart rate after 5 minutes and see what your heart rate has come down to. Okay. All right. So that is the 3-minute step test. What you're going to do is you're going to look at the chart, which is on the 3rd page. And based on your recovery heart rate, you're going to find your age range, and you're going to look at what your recovery heart rate was. And then you're going to say whether you're in excellent, good, above average, average, below average, poor, or very poor condition as far as your VO2 max. Okay. And then based on that, you can look at what zones you need to start working with cardio. And again, we'll go over that. Okay. So that's the 3-minute step test. The Tecumseh step test is the one that uses an 8-inch step, and the Harvard's sometimes it's called Harvard, sometimes it's called the 3-minute YMCA step test, is the one that uses the 12-inch step. Okay. So if you're looking up that online. All right. We're going to go on to the 12-minute run test, which is also called the Cooper test. That's another way of checking your VO2 max. You can check your VO2 max on your watch. So if you have a smartwatch, you say that you're going for a run, but you have to do it outdoor. It has to track your movement. And you can set that, and you can look at your VO2 max. As a matter of fact, anytime you do aerobic movement and say you're doing aerobic, if you tell your watch that you're doing exercise, it will record your VO2 max. But it only records it accurately if you're moving. So if you're going for a walk or a run, it will record your VO2 max and give that to you. So you may just be able to look at that if you're someone who regularly goes on walks or runs and records it on your watch. All right, so what we're doing next, the 12-minute run test, or the Cooper test. Basically, what you're going to do is you're just going to run for 12 minutes. Okay. You're going to calculate your distance. So you'll need a watch, or you'll need your phone with Map My Walk or Map My Run or something that's going to record your distance covered. So you're going to run for 12 minutes. You're going to denote the distance you ran, and you're going to use that to estimate your VO2 max. So I will give you all that information on our live. We'll talk about that as well. And then you're going to use that to determine your fitness level based on your age and whether you're male or female and how far you were able to go. So we'll talk about that if anybody wants to do the run test. If anybody's in that good of shape that they're doing a 12-minute run, we'll definitely talk about that in one of our live Q&As. But there's another one that's called the Rockport walking test, and it's a little bit more down to what I would be able to do. And again, I will share all of these links as well, but the Rockport 1-mile fitness walking test calculator. Okay. So you're going to need good pair of walking shoes. You're going to need a scale that measures in pounds to measure your weight. You're going to need a level 1-mile track or treadmill. So you want it to be level. Okay. You need a stopwatch, and of course your workout clothes that are comfortable enough for you to walk in and move freely. You'll also need something to measure your heart rate. You can either take your own pulse, or you can get a heart rate monitor or a fitness tracker. This can be both a heart rate monitor and a stopwatch for that. So because this is less strenuous, the Rockport walking test may be more appropriate for adults who are older, overweight, sedentary, or someone who just can't run. Okay. You may be in really good shape, but your knees won't let you run like mine. So I'm not in good shape, but my knees won't let me run. All right. So what you're going to do to perform the Rockport walking test, and again, I'm reading this and I'll give you this information in a PDF as well. You're going to warm up for 5 to 10 minutes of easy walking. Okay. Oh, there's our timer again. You're going to warm up for 5 to 10 minutes of easy walking. Okay. So you're just going to walk. at a leisurely pace for 5 to 10 minutes. You're going to start your stopwatch and immediately start walking as fast as you can. Okay, like someone's chasing you, right? Make every effort to push yourself, but avoid jogging. So you're not going to jog, but you're going to, do that heel strike. So heel to toe, but you're going to go as fast as you can. At the end of 1 mile, stop your stopwatch and record your time in decimals. Okay. For example, 11 minutes plus 30 seconds plus 60 seconds is 11 minutes, 11.5 minutes. So if you walk for 11 minutes and 30 seconds, it'd be 11.5 minutes. Okay. 11 minutes, 15 seconds will be 11.25, right? Minutes. Sorry. Take your heart rate immediately. After taking your own pulse, count the heartbeat for 15 seconds and multiply by 4. For example, if there are 40 heartbeats in 15 seconds, your heart rate would be 160 beats per minute. Okay, you're going to use that to calculate your VO2 max. Upon completion of the test, you will need to do some math to determine your VO2 max. In addition to your heart rate, you will also need to measure your weight in pounds. The formula is as follows. I'm going to give a close-up of this, but it's math. So you have to calculate your VO2 max, though, and then there's a table here that shows your VO2 max. So I'm going to do a little close-up of this if you want to take a screenshot on how they do it. But again, I will have the PDF. And all of this came through a website called Very Well, sorry. And it's free domain information. All right. So that's the Rockport walking test. And again, it will calculate your VO2 max. And the VO2 max, again, shows you how well your heart and your lungs are working when they're stressed, when you're asked to do something that's a little bit harder than what you normally do. And again, we talked about how to get your VO2 max from your watch. So all you would do is you'd go into your Apple Watch. Everybody's is different, but you can do go exercise. You can do where it shows, sorry, you can't see it, where it shows that you're going to do a workout. And I would do outdoor walk. Okay. And then it's going to get ready, 3, 2, 1. And then it's going to measure my heart rate and it will give me my VO2 max if I'm outside at the end. So that's one way, if you don't want to do all these calculations, that you can do that. But we'll walk through the calculations again in our second live session. I can answer all your questions, and I will upload these PDFs so that you have all of this as well. Now, let's go over this real quick. So this is the PDF that is linked already up in the group, and it has on the front is your assessment of yourself. Okay, so up here is a list of dates, and that has your weight and your BMI. Okay, your BMI can be calculated online using a BMI calculator. I'll have a link for the resources that I use for BMI calculator again in another document on the page. And then it goes through, and you can use any of these tests or all or whatever you can do, and write your modifications out to the side if you're having to modify. This bottom part is your goals. Okay, let me get a little closer so you can see. You're going to have 3 long-term goals. You can have more if you want, but right here I have places for 3, and you're going to set your date for that. So your long-term goals are going to be out 4 to 6 months or maybe even longer. Okay, and then your short-term goals. So my long-term goal is to lose 50 pounds. My short-term goals, my first one is going to be maybe to lose 10 pounds. Maybe my next one is to lose 20 pounds. And then my next one is 30. And I've got to work my way up, right? So I want to lose 10 pounds by this date, 20 pounds by this date, 30 pounds by this date. Okay. You could even break it up into, shorter goals than that. But okay. So that's a weight goal. My next goal might be, okay, my VO2 max is in the poor range. So I want to have it in the below average and then in the average range. My ultimate goal would be to have good, right? At least good and maybe excellent one day. If you're already good, maybe you want to have excellent VO2 max. So I'm going to maybe set for my second goal a VO2 max or endurance goal. Maybe I need a strength goal. Maybe I can't get on and off the floor. Demonstrate getting on and off the floor real quick, Kim. Just sit down on the floor. Mm-hmm. And then get up.
Without my hands?
No, with your hand. Yeah. Okay. See, she does it like a teenager. Do it. Yeah. Because she can do that. Okay. From a crawling position.
This.
From a crawling position, but not with a step. So get back down. There you go. Go on to all fours. And then get up. Yeah. Okay. So do you see that? Do it from the side so they can see the angle of your knee. So get onto all fours.
I'm sitting.
Okay. Get onto all fours. Okay. And then come up. Do you see the angle of her knee as she comes up? She's in that 90-90 position, right? So that's the hard part. That's the hard part of getting up from the floor. When I worked in outpatient physical therapy, we'd have patients that would fall or have some issues, maybe even just knee surgery. They were older and they had to go back to living alone. And one of the things that our goals was for them to be able to get off the floor. Since I've been working with babies and doing early intervention, I'm on and off the floor every day. And I never realized how much hard it was to get on and off the floor and how much I had not been able to do it. I could do it once, but like several times throughout the session and several times, because I see 3 or 4 babies a day now, it does take its toll on you. And just even crawling on the floor with the babies, like kind of staying down there, squatting down. So it requires a lot of core strength and a lot of lower body strength for me just to get on and off the floor to play with children. So that may be one of your goals. If you're a grandparent or a parent and you want to be able to get on and off the floor, maybe you're getting up in years and you want to be able to get off the floor if you do fall. We can fall no matter how much our balance is. We can trip over something and fall. And if that happens, you've got to be able to get up. So, hi, Andy. Go on, baby. I'm going to take her in there, baby. Let me finish. So you've got to be able to get off the floor. So that may be your third goal, maybe your first goal, whatever your priority is. All right. These are all equal goals. You may put them in like first priority, second priority, third priority, but it's your goals. All right. Whichever ones are important to you. If you need more goals, make more goals. Take another sheet of paper, write it in a journal. Okay. But anyways, so let's just say my goal was to get off the floor and I can't do that right now. So what would be my first goal? Maybe stepping up on an 8-inch step. Maybe I take it to a 12-inch step because your 12-inch step is going to be 18-inch, 20-inch. It's going to be whatever gets you at that 90-degree angle. Okay. So you're doing just do like a little lunge squat. So you may only be able to, So like kind of mimicking the way you're getting off the floor there, but not going all the way down. But don't go all the way down. So just, and then come back up. Or it might be just bring your feet together. It may be just a step back. So you're stepping back, bending the knee a little. Step back up. Step back, bend the knee a little, and you're back up. But you're doing it slow. So do it really slow. Slow down, slow up, slow step. Good. So the slower you can go, the more controlled it's going to be. You're going to work your muscles. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in our exercise session. So that might be your first goal is that you're, if you can't get off the floor or you're having trouble with stairs, is that you start with a lower step, lower stairs, and then work your way up. So again, we'll talk about all that. But that's the reason we're doing these tests in order to help you make your goals. May already know what your goals are. You may not realize that your BMI is not what it should be. And so that might be an assessment that's giving you some insight. You already may know that you want to lose weight. So that may be already a priority. You may not know how out of shape you are with your VO2 max. You may not realize you're in a poor category because you can do what you need to do and what you've been doing without any difficulty. But once you really push yourself, how are you doing? Princess shoes right here in the background. Anyways, all right. So, but on the second page, it starts with what the norms are or how to assess. Okay. So I'm 45 and let's just say I can only do 3 push-ups because I probably can only do 3 push-ups, in the correct position, right? In the, hands and toes position of push-ups. My 1 minute max reps is 3. Okay. That's in the poor. I have poor upper body strength. So my first goal may be to have average, or my long-term goal is going to be to have good, right? So I need to maybe have poor first, average then, and then good, right? And I want to set a time limit for those. And how do I get better at it? I do push-ups, right? I start in the position I can do them in, and I go to the harder and harder positions as I get stronger, okay? Plank hold, okay, is going to be the second category here. And again, y'all have all of this in the PDF. And so I'm 45. I should be able to be intermediate. I should be able to hold a plank for 45 seconds. I know that I can hold it for 60 seconds because I've been doing them. So I'm still in the intermediate range at 45 years of age because the intermediate range is a 46 to a 75 second hold. So in order to be advanced, I need to at least hold it 76 seconds or more. Okay. So that can be my goal, right? I can either make my goal to be advanced, or I can say exactly how many seconds I want to hold that plank. Okay. And I want to specify which position I'm doing it in. So again, if you can't hold it in toes and elbows position, which is the position that this is standardized for, denote on the side what position you're holding it. You can still use these, these calculations, but you may want to go back to, okay, I want to at least be able to hold it, the plank position, in the correct elbows and toes position for 20 seconds to be a beginner, right? Let's say you can't hold that position. Okay. Let's say you just can't, you have some scar tissue, you have a hernia, you've got something going on. Your elbows hurt, you're broke, you can't get in that position. Maybe in the plank position. We'll talk about some modified for wrist too, but there's ways to do that. Emily, grab a couple of those weights over there, babe, and show them how to do like a plank with the, do you know what I'm talking about with the dumbbell? Mm-hmm, yeah. You get the big ones if you want to, or the small ones, whatever, just so you can grab them. Anyways, let's just say you can't do that. And that's never going to be anything you're not going to be ever able to get on your knees and your toes. That's fine. You can still work your core in a modified plank position. So just whatever is the hardest position that you can do, make that your goal, and that you're able to do it for 60 seconds or 70 seconds or 90 seconds or 2 minutes or whatever, based on the standardized norms. Okay. All right. Wall sit. In order to be, and this is just, there's no age range on this one. It's just how long can you do it? Poor is, oh yeah, let's show that real quick. So if you have a wrist issue and you cannot get your hand on the ground into that 90 position, okay, you can use dumbbells. So grab the dumbbells, okay, and do it there, okay. Now that works for the plank. The push-up is not going to be, can you do a push-up? Yeah, you can do that with the push-up. You also just need to see if it hurts your wrist, okay. What you may want to do instead is you just elevate your position, okay, instead of going straight down. That would elevate your wrists a little bit, but you still need to have your shoulder over your wrist. So this is going to be the best position-wise, right? You can do your planks in this position. You can do your push-ups in this position. You just want to keep your elbows in, okay? We're not doing wide push-ups, okay? You can modify that sometimes for other things, but this is the way we're doing them for the standardized testing, okay? All right. Yep. Okay.
Wall sits.
Yeah.
That's where you're at.
So wall sits. Thank you. So I know that on this, if I've done my wall sits, I know that on this chart here, if I can hold it for less than 20 seconds, that is very poor. So let's say I can hold it for 30 seconds. That's below average. 21 to 30 seconds is below average. So that's where I am. Okay. That's where I am. That's what I can do. If my goal is to improve lower body strength and improve my quadricep strength, which is the muscles that will help you get off the ground, it's the front thigh muscles, then I may make a goal for this to be able to hold it at an excellent 91 to 150 seconds. That may be my long-term goal. It's not going to happen tomorrow. So my short-term goals are going to be to increase that incrementally until I get to that long-term goal. Okay. All right. And then sorry, I have them all stapled together. All right, 3-minute step test. So this is going to be the one that's giving you your VO2 max, which is your endurance. There's no standardized norms that I could find for a squat test. Please share those if you find those, or how many squats you can do in a minute. But you can, if that's hard for you, say you can do 5 squats, or 5, not squats. Squats. So if you can do 5 sit to stands or 5 squats in a minute, then you need to, if your legs are weak and you can't get off the ground or you can't go upstairs, then just make a goal for higher than that. Okay. I'm going to look for some standardized tests, for some standardized measurements on that, standardized norms, but I wasn't able to find them before I made this video. So please share that if you have those. 3-minute step test though, because this really tests your cardio strength and it also tests your lower body strength. This is going to be your norms for that. So it's based on age and it's based on what your recovery heart rate is. So after 5 minutes, so let's just say I'm 45. So the age range I would fit into is a 36 to 45 range. So in order to even have, so if my heart rate is higher than 100, I have this backwards on here. It says lower, but that should be, all these very poor should be lower. Sorry. I typed these out. And so I made that mistake. So all of the bottom row should be greater than instead of less than. So if my heart rate after 5 minutes of recovery is still above 140 degrees, then I have very poor VO2 max. Thanks, Em. I said 140 degrees. I meant beats per minute. Beats per minute. We don't measure heart rate in degrees. Not even in this world. Okay, or in my world. Okay, so if my heart rate is above 140 degrees still after that 5 minute seated recovery time, then I have very poor VO2 max. Okay, and then again, these are for women based on age. I didn't do any men's. So if you have a man in your life looking at these and wanting to follow along, I can get that information to you, but this is just for women, okay? Because that's all that's participating in this challenge. So, all right. So if that's what I've got after 5 minutes of sitting and resting, if my heart rate is still above 140 degrees, I need to work on that. Okay. I need to work on my VO2 max. So my original goal, I want to be good at least, right? Or above average. So I want it to be below 103 beats per minute after the recovery. So that's my goal. That's my long-term goal. But in order to get there, I've got to go through, so I'm very poor, right here. That's my rating. I've got to go through poor, below average, and average to get to above average. Okay. It's not going to happen overnight. We didn't get in this condition overnight. We got in this condition from years and years. Some people may have gotten this condition overnight if they had a surgery or an accident, but most of us got to this position through years and years of not doing aerobic activity, right? You may get winded going upstairs, right? That is an indication that you need to work on your VO2 max. You may get winded standing up, getting out of the bed. You may get winded trying to get on and off the floor, okay? There's no shame in that, but that tells you that you need to work on your VO2 max, okay? And you're going to have to find a way to do that, whether it's walking, whether it's going up and down a step, okay? So you can do step test. The step test can be part of your getting better at it, right? You can teach for the test, right? We can do the test in order to improve the test, right? We'll talk about that later, but you could get on a video on YouTube and do some good old-fashioned step aerobics, okay? You can stand at your bottom step of your stairs and go up and down, okay? You can go up the steps and come back down the steps and go up the steps and come back down the steps and go up the steps and come back down the steps and get your, work on your VO2 max, okay? So whatever's hard for you, that can turn into your prescription for strength, okay? All right, so that is the 3-minute step test. And again, we're going to talk about how to calculate your maximum heart rate, okay? So for safety, you're going to take the number 220 and you're going to deduct your age. So you're going to go 220 minus your age, and that is your max heart rate. Your heart rate should not go over that many beats per minute while you're working out or anytime, okay? So again, you can use, you can test your carotid artery pulse after you've, been working out and just see where it is. Or you can use a heart rate monitor if you have one of those. It's asking me to end the workout. Yes, because I started the workout and I haven't done anything. Okay. Anyways, so this is basically telling you if your VO2 max rating is very poor, you need to start at zone 1, which is 64 to 75% of your max heart rate, which is zone 1. Okay. So in other words, if you're very poor, you don't want to go straight for that 86 to 95% of your max heart rate. You don't want to go straight for that crazy workout zone there to improve your cardiac conditioning. You need to start lower, which is zone 1. Okay. If you're in poor to below average, you're still in zone 1, average zone 2. This is wrong, Emily. It is wrong. Yep. I'm going to have to fix that. But so you're basically going on based on your rating, it's showing you where to start out. Okay. Again, 220 minus your age. So for example, for a 40-year-old person, you take 220 minus 40, and that's 180. Your max heart rate should not go over 180 while you're working out. Okay. And then you're going to use a percentage of that to determine, if you're in zone 1, 2, 3, or 4. Okay. Or zone 5. I think is the size that goes.
Mine's 2 or 3.
What?
My heart rate shouldn't go over 2 or 3.
Yeah. So Emily's max heart rate should not go over 203. So
That's crazy.
look at your phone. Tell me what your max heart rate is when you work out. Do you know? Do you know how to look at that? I'm going to have you look
I
at
don't
that.
have my watch on, but
All right. And then back here again is another VO2 max norms for women based on your age, what you should be. So if you're using your tracker and you're just looking at it, again, I look at mine and mine says that I'm poor in my VO2 max, but I usually work out in the gym. So I'm not moving. I'm either on a treadmill, I'm on an elliptical, or I'm on a bike. Usually it's too hot right now in the South to work out outside. I'm outside working, but I'm not stressing my VO2 max. So now when the fall comes, I am. Or if you're a hiker, do it while you hike, right? There's nothing better than going uphill to increase your heart rate. So you may not be able to walk fast because your knees hurt. You may not be able to run because your knees hurt, but you can walk up a hill and get your heart rate up, okay? So if you have a hill in front of your house or if you're going on a hike, that's a great time to measure your VO2 max, especially if you have a heart rate monitor. Now, you can't do that for the walk test. You need a flat track or a treadmill because that's the way it's standardized, okay? So I think I've covered everything in this. I know this is a long video. Gosh, I've been on here for 40 minutes. Okay, so I hope I've not lost you. I hope you're still paying attention and still interested. If you have any questions, you can put them in the link to this video, in the comment to this video. You can, I know it says I went live, but I didn't tell anybody I was going live because I don't know how to work my camera otherwise. So I'm not a YouTuber. I'm a physical therapist. So maybe I'll get better at it. But anyways, and I really appreciate your attention and time and for you being here. And I do want your feedback. So I know I say a lot, and I know that I am kind of disorganized at times. So I will get better at that. But if there's any other questions that you have, because your questions are going to tell me what I did not cover, okay? 40 minutes of talking, and I'm pretty sure there's some stuff that I either said wrong or wasn't clear or I didn't cover, and that's why you're here for this challenge. For this trial run, and I appreciate your feedback and your time. Please let me know if there's any suggestions that you have, any questions that you have, comments, concerns, anything otherwise. Thank Emily for her time. She's a non-paid actress, fitness model. But anyways, okay, so I'm going to let y'all go and not waste any more of your time. I will link this in the description. I will also link the Verywell website, which has all these tests. And all you need to do, really, if you can't find the information that you want between these two, is just type in the name of the test. There are a lot of videos on YouTube that will show you and walk you through these tests if you want them. Or use this video if it gives you the information that you need. Again, let me know if there's any questions. I'm going to let y'all go, and I will see you in the next live. Love you, mean it. Bye.